Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unbound and Unapologetic, real women talking about real stuff. And Kim did want me to say about just make sure everybody knows this is real and raw because bless her heart, she hasn't had a shower for 3 days. They've no water, and she's over there in
No
Canada,
water.
no
Yeah.
water. So bless her heart. And actually, she's a radio show girl. So thank you for being here on video, out of your comfort zone. But that's where life begins, outside our
Yes.
comfort zone. And we both really want to welcome to our podcast Sarah Jane Clark today. Hello, Sarah Jane.
Hi guys, thank you so much for inviting me to talk today. I really appreciate it.
It's an
Appreciate the opportunity.
absolute
It'll be
pleasure.
great. Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, in fact, you were talking on the radio yesterday, weren't you? You
Yes,
have
yeah, my
had
local radio station.
quite a journey with food, a food addiction even. Do you want to just run through and tell us how, how and why and what?
Yeah, so from a very early age, I had a very unhealthy relationship with food. I developed at a very young age. So age 11, I had periods in a woman's body, and I honestly thought that I could diet myself into loving myself. So I started dieting at a very young age, 13, and it led me down a path of secret binge eating, which, to cut a very long story short, culminated in a GP appointment. I'd gone to see my doctor because I had quite a few health issues. And at the age of 28, she told me, "You will not make the age of 40 if you carry on like this." I weighed 22 stone. I've lost over 12 and a half stone. But interestingly, I didn't take the diet approach this time. I knew I had to make the lifestyle changes. And in order for that to happen, it had to be a slow and steady journey that I could sustain. All
Mm.
the fads that I tried before, as we all have, they last 5 minutes. And I always ended up getting heavier and heavier. So for me, that restriction of food would always end up with binging
Yeah.
and being bigger and bigger and bigger. But yeah, so I had a very lonely, painful journey full of shame and self hatred. And that's why I share my story. And I now work supporting other women that want to change too.
Brilliant.
That's awesome.
Bravo, you.
Thank you.
Absolutely
Thank you.
awesome. May I ask you, was there anything in particular that triggered your comfort eating? You
Yes.
you fed your emotions.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say, my parents were great people, but I didn't get any love or affection when I was younger. I was taught to be a good girl, be
Mm,
quiet, don't question any
mm,
authority. And so for me, eating was swallowing everything down,
mm, mm,
never express
Mm.
emotion, never
mm,
question anything, do
mm.
what you're told. And then, of course, my first relationship was from the age of 14 to 28. It was physically, mentally abusive. And so I would eat away the pain, being told every day that you're fat and ugly, no one else would want you. And then he would go off to work, he worked nights, and I would just sit and eat. Um, yeah, the only way I can describe it is that I used the food to soothe the
Mm.
pain, the emotional pain. I had no outlet to express it. I kept that part of the
Oh,
abusive
you,
part of my relationship very
yeah.
secret.
Yes, and it's self-medicating, isn't it? But the challenge
Yes.
is most people self-medicate with alcohol or food or stuff that isn't good for us. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've read the story in I'm sure she's in, yes, there she is. Carol May, who had a similar journey with food, and for her it was butter.
Oh,
Oh,
In the
wow.
wow.
first volume of my Two Women of Spirit books, for her it was butter. So I suppose bread and butter. So something that you just
Yeah.
crave and is
Yeah.
satisfying, but it goes
Yeah.
way over the top, doesn't it? So,
Oh, yeah. So my food of choice was always something that was made with white refined sugar. So
mhm.
it would give me a very short dopamine hit. But of course, it's very short lived. And then the crash and the guilt would come. So
Yeah.
anything like cake, biscuits, all store-made stuff, chocolate sweets, and even now I avoid them because just like an alcoholic,
Mm,
can't do half a glass of wine. I can't do just a biscuit. It
mm.
would be the packet, and then it's like the floodgates open,
But
and I
this
go down that
point,
addiction route.
Jane, they say, and you'll agree, I'm sure, Kim, white sugar, refined sugar, is poison, and it's more addictive than cocaine.
Mm, yeah.
And these confectionery and biscuit making companies, they put trans fat in, don't they?
Mm,
Which, and so you never feel satisfied. Your body needs
never.
nutrition
Yeah.
and it's not giving it any. And so you can eat
Yeah.
a whole packet of biscuits.
Yeah.
I find
Yeah.
with dark chocolate, I can have, say, one or two squares and I'm satiated. The
Yes.
very
Yeah.
dark chocolate. How about you,
Yeah.
Kim? I mean, how does this all sound to you with the health
Well, see,
aspect?
so with what Greg and I do, like there are a lot of actual biochemical things going on with addictions. Number one, because way back quite a few years ago, I had done a lot of research into drug addictions.
Mm,
My son had gotten into some things in high school, but anyway, so there is an amino acid. It's a neurotransmitter basically in our brain. It's called GABA. GABA is the short form for it, but GABA amino benzoic acid or something. I can't remember, but GABA. And when you have a deficiency of GABA in the brain, you could crave chocolate, you could crave gambling, you could crave alcohol, you could crave
Mm.
whatever your drug of choice is. That GABA deficiency will trigger it.
So is
And
the
GABA is
GABA,
something
sorry,
GABA.
that is what when people have an addictive personality, actually it's an addictive brain or
Yes,
chemical lack. So
yes.
can that be balanced with an input of GABA?
Well, absolutely. So what GABA does is as a neurotransmitter, it calms the body too. So we sell a lot of GABA on our website. I did shows about it, but for things like anxiety,
Mm,
stress, so all of that factors into that trigger of like something happens, I got to eat. But it's the GABA, like if you're not producing enough GABA, and then there's
Yeah.
another whole thing with the sugar thing that I feel is never addressed enough. And that is an imbalance of your gut microbiome. So if you
Yeah.
have too much yeast, candida yeast in your body, when you crave sweets, it's and
mm.
then you feed it, you eat
Feeding it.
something, that
Mhm.
that candida like thrives
Yeah.
and it literally makes you crave more
Mm.
because candida needs sugar to
Yeah.
survive in your
Yes.
body.
Yes.
So there are some actual biochemical things that people
Yeah.
can give themselves some grace about,
Yeah.
that it's not all just your emotions.
Yeah.
It is these physical things going on.
It's so
Mm.
interesting. And again, it can lead to other things. I had
Yeah,
candida from very strong antibiotics when I nearly died of a heart pericarditis and I got
yeah,
pneumonia. And then those ruined my gut. Um,
yeah,
Mm.
so then after that, it developed, I got ME because candida is a precursor for ME. And people
yeah,
need to really be careful of gut health. Would you say
yeah.
your gut health, Sarah Jane, is now, are you very mindful of your gut
Yeah,
health?
very much so. So it's things like eating as much vegetables, introducing
Yeah.
herbs. So even if I'm making like something like a meat chili, I will try and get as many different types of vegetable in there. So, obviously you've got your beans, but I'll put three different coloured peppers in there. I'll put
Awesome.
fresh herbs. And then by the time you've counted that up, you can get like 9 or 10
Mm,
um different things. And I've also follow on social media. I don't know if you've heard of Tim Spector. He does a lot of work around in the UK,
mm,
Kim, about gut health and the importance of it. And so, yeah, I've done a lot of research. I don't claim to be an expert, but just through my own experiences. I've done a lot of research about nutrition and the health benefits that foods can have on your body.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and for me, eating
sorry,
so that I don't get the spikes in energy, because then my central nervous, and if I can keep myself on a calm, even keel, the food noise is zero. You know, it's all about keeping a really sort of steady flow of energy, and keeping my central nervous system nice and calm.
Yes. And so therefore, this has brought you into a place of much greater self-worth, because you're not only practicing self-care, but you're not putting up with any abusive relationships,
Yeah,
which was
yeah.
past when, and that fed the whole cycle.
Whole thing. It was a really negative, vicious cycle. And interestingly enough, I could never leave that relationship for me, because I thought that's all I deserved. But when I had two children very, very close together, I had a 6-month-old and a 20-month-old, I left because I thought, I can't let them see this. But going back to my weight loss journey, it was interesting, because I remember after losing 6 stone, so a really significant weight loss, I remember looking in the mirror and not liking myself any more than what I did. And I thought, this is not right. I thought that I would feel instantly better about myself, and I didn't. And that's when I did the inner work.
Yeah.
A friend told me to read How to Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And that's where the real work began, was changing the way I talked to myself, being my own friend instead of constantly criticizing myself. So it was such a combination, a real holistic approach to changing my lifestyle.
Yes. I love that. I love that. And it's with my resilience shifts and mastering mental toughness program, every single thing is covered. But you've been amazing, because you were strong enough and motivated enough, big time, to kind of take yourself on that journey. I think my program is for people who, I won't do it for them, but I'll do it with them, and hold their hand and support them and check in with them along the way. And that's why I love this podcast with Kim and with our guests, because we are putting things out there that women need to hear about, we need to talk about. And so on that note, I'm going to say, Kim, is there anything else that you want to add before we say goodbye this time?
Well, absolutely, Sarah. Like, I commend you, because that's the thing. Our journey is only, as I feel, all of our journeys are only as good as how we share it, because we go through these things to share it. And if we just do them, like, we're not contributing to the planet. I just want to commend you for being able to share that story.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I echo that. And so that's it for this time, peoples. And I'm sure you will have gained a fair old bit from that, actually. It's short and sweet, what we want to, short and sweet, real and raw. And we'll be back again very soon. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.